What's going on, guys? Matt Wacek here. Welcome back to another video. And before you close out of this video because you realize, oh shit, this isn't a tactical video, it has nothing to do with making my website rank faster, get more traffic, increase conversions, whatever, you need to pay attention to this because I can guarantee that you're not doing these three things that are going to help you get tremendous results in your business, no matter what type of business you are building. For what it's worth, I've said this in multiple videos, every other tactic out there online works. Just pick one that you like and stick with it and stay with it and stay consistent, and you're going to get results with it. So for me, the past 3 years, I struggled a lot with this regarding productivity and also a little bit of shiny object syndrome as well. But really narrowing down the three things we're going to cover here in this video, which is planning, auditing, and bullshit, I've gotten more done and grown my business and had more results in the past few months than I did the previous 3 years before that, or actually 3.5 years if you really want to look further back in time. So these three things are so important. If you do not do these, any type of business tactic you're going to try to go and do is not going to work because you're going to have shit work habits, you're going to have a shit approach to getting that work done, and you're overall just not going to get the results that you want. And so the first thing that you must do is write down what you need to do the day before or the last time period before you go do that work. So for some people, they may not work over the weekend. For me, I do, but the night before, Friday night, whatever it is, today is actually Friday, so that's why it's on my mind. It's like 6:45, 6:50 on a Friday. You'd want to plan out Monday, so that way on Monday when you wake up and you start or go to your computer to start working, you know exactly what needs to get done. I would even encourage yourself to write a note or reminder in your phone for Sunday night at like 9 o'clock to say, okay, hey, make sure you get to your computer at X time and you have these important tasks that must get done right away. So that way you know, and you wake up in the morning knowing that, okay, I got to get this stuff done. Because if you do not plan the day before, you're going to wake up the next morning and you're going to wonder, well, what am I going to do today? And then you're going to accomplish nothing. I've been there. That's why I'm saying this, is because I've done this and I have struggled with that for a long time. So if you let that happen, you're going to let distractions and notifications and other garbage get in the way. So plan out your day. Now, there are a lot of different varieties of how you want to plan out your day. You could use software if you want. I like writing it down because for me, it's almost like a little bit of satisfaction, a little bit of dopamine hit almost, if you will, when I'm writing stuff down. And here's where the dopamine hit really does come in, is when I accomplish those things, I will take a vibrant colored marker or pen or whatever. Marker usually works best, like a highlighter, but I have an orange Sharpie or orange highlight, or not orange highlighter, but a pink highlighter, yellow highlighter, and just put a slash or check mark next to each item as you get it done through the day. So we'll get into how I set things up on the sheet of paper and that stuff here in a second. But as you do that, you're going to get a good feeling in your brain that yes, I accomplished what that is. And it's similar to how when you scroll through Instagram, it's giving you dopamine hits every single second that you're scrolling through. But when you're doing this, you're creating something worthwhile, you're getting results in your business, you're advancing, you're moving forward. So that is very, very important for me to have that physical connection to the actual writing. For me, it works tremendously. For you, maybe software works good for you. If you want to use software, I would recommend checking out monday.com. It's actually a pretty good one. But there are a bunch of other ones out there, but this was what works best for me when I plan my day for what I need to do. So anyways, for the actual structure of how I plan out the day, I will write down the date, and then I will categorize things based on the asset that they essentially belong to. So here's another thing also that I will do. I don't have it on this document, but I will do the start time and then the end time. So that way I can see how long this stuff took. And when I'm during that start and finish time, there's really no one that can come in contact with me. I tune out everything. I keep my phone far, far away and usually on do not disturb, so I don't even hear it if it were to go off. Because it is so crucial to not have notifications, not have distractions. When you're on your computer working on your website or whatever you are doing, you need to have just one tab, or the only tabs that are open on your browser have to do with that specific task. For example, here with what I have to do tomorrow, which is some things on the Landscape Marketing Pros agency site. I have to start building out a new site in the rehab niche. So I have all these things categorized. I have another YouTube thing, administrative related things, a couple things with client sites. And I do not have a client site open. I don't have the HostGator or Namecheap or even the affiliate network that I'm going to be promoting this offer for this rehab offer, none of that stuff is open when I'm going to be working on this Landscape Marketing Pros page that needs to get worked on, which is the client results page. I have some photos to edit and some other things to add to the page. You do not want to have anything else open but the sole task, because if you have this other stuff in front of you, for especially email and that stuff, you're going to see these notifications, you see the little numbers or just the little signals appear in the tabs, and it's going to distract you and it's going to slow you down because you're going to see that and realize, oh shit, I got to check that. So tune that shit out. Turn off Skype, turn off Snapchat. Again, don't even have your phone anywhere near you. Log out of Facebook, and we'll cover some social media stuff here in a second. But as for the actual structure, I just write down what needs to get done. So for example, if you're working on a new lead generation site or pay-per-call affiliate site, just write out the tasks that need to get done. It's really, really simple, actually. If you've never built a website, this might be something rather new to you, but it's really as simple as these few things here to at least get the things started. So get accepted to a network if you're not. Actually, I don't even know why I have this on here, but I've already been accepted to a network, to their offer, and I got the phone numbers needed. So I'm actually going to delete that. So what I have to go do tomorrow is acquire a domain. So I'm going to head over to Namecheap. You can write this stuff out if you really wanted to, and then purchase and that stuff. Then going over to get HostGator, get hosting. And if you want to do this, for me, this is really simple. I know the whole process. It's it's second nature to me. So it's not that difficult for me to have to do this. I know what I need to do when I need to go get hosting or install WordPress. I know exactly what needs to get done. When install WordPress plugins, then I know exactly what needs to get done. So then also install the theme, set up header footers, and that's what I'm going to do for tomorrow. We'll see how much more time permits, but there's other things that need to get done. Then here at the bottom, I will write goals met, and then with a question mark. And if I achieve the goals for the day, I'll take that marker and I'll put a smiley face if I did. And if I didn't get all this stuff done, I will put a frown face. And then at the very upper left-hand corner of the page, if I accomplish everything for the day, I will put a star. That's what works for me. You can put whatever symbol you like. And then you're going to then want to put an X for a multiplier, and then how many days in a row you've achieved everything. Because again, it's going to give you a little bit more dopamine hit. And rather than scrolling through your useless feed on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to actually be accomplishing things, and you get dopamine hit for actual accomplishments rather than just looking at viral garbage. So you can tell I don't like social media. That's why I don't spend much time on there. So anyways, that is how I plan out my days. If you have questions on how I plan out my day specifically, then leave a comment down below. Now moving into the second thing that you must do, that is auditing your time. So what we're looking at is the actual version of this document here, which is what I use to audit my time with what I'm doing on an hourly basis every single day, because I work every day. But you need to do this for the days, especially that you work, so that way you can track whether you're actually working, or are you scrolling through Facebook, are you checking email, are you going to YouTube. And there's nothing wrong with going to YouTube to learn something, or even if you're going to watch something, but don't do it during your work time. Keep that shit closed. If you're going to Facebook to learn something from my Facebook group, go there and utilize it, but then log out and get out of it and get back to work if you only if you need it. So then what I also do on here is I track the time I'm sleeping. I track when I go to the gym, when I'm cooking, when I'm eating, tracking all that, because if you don't track, you can't manage it. If you cannot manage what you don't track. So if you're someone who ends up spending 12 hours at the computer and you only get 30 minutes to an hour's worth of work done at an actual optimized pace and focus, and I'm speaking from experience because this was me at one point in time, then you're not going to get anything done, and you're going to realize that you're going to look back and say, oh shit, I spent how much time this week on nonsense. And also one other recommendation is on the other page of your notebook, write down what you learned that day, anything specific, and then down below, note your distractions that you came across. So for example, if at 11:13 a.m., oh shit, I just checked Facebook and then I started scrolling, or I went to Instagram or whatever, or someone called me or something like that, which if you're working, you shouldn't have your phone near you. But just when you look back at that, you're going to realize, ah, shit, I just spent all this time being distracted. This makes me mad. And you're going to feel like a piece of garbage when you start doing this type of tracking. So highly, highly recommend doing this. I just went to Google and typed in time tracking log, and there was like a website I had happened to find this on. It was like a industrial company's like time sheet type of website where they were giving these free downloads away for like time clocks for employees, and then also time tracking, so that way they could calculate how many widgets were being made during this half-hour window on a Wednesday, for example. So very, very, very good tool for you as a marketer to use. So now here is the third thing that you must do. Bullshit. Cut it out. You do not need the vast majority of this stuff. A lot of this stuff is probably pretty extreme for you. And if you're only just wanting to build a few websites and get them ranked, again, like I mentioned, after the initial bulk of the content is created, you do not have to spend a whole lot of time on it. And I really encourage you to not spend a lot of time on it. Only just focus on what needs to be done. If you have the plan all in front of you of how you rank your site and that sort of stuff, and you outsource a lot of the microservices, then just do that. You don't have to then spend 12 hours a day working. For me, there's a lot of things that I do. I have clients, I have my own sites, I have a webinar that I'm putting together, and there's a lot of things that go into the back end of that, and also creating YouTube videos and optimizing my course and everything that goes into it. There's a lot more than just the site. So if you're just working on a couple sites, it really shouldn't take you a whole lot of time. But if you're someone who's serious and you really want to grow and get results, you're going to have to come up with a checklist like this, and here's some good ideas of what you'd want to do to really cut out of your life, and you're going to see forward progress if you do this. So the rule here is if you break any one of them, you have to start over. And if you were to remove any of these, and I actually had gotten this from a mentor of mine, and I added some things that were specific to me, but if you remove any of these things, it shows that you're not serious and you're not cut out for it. First thing, and I recommend this highly to you, and I'm not going to go through the whole list or anything like that because there's a lot of stuff in here, but don't use social media unless it's for work. So strictly just gathering information for something that you need to use as leverage or as a tool. So gathering information for something on your website, for example, if you go to one of my groups or anyone else's Facebook group, just do that. Do not find yourself mindlessly scrolling, getting nothing done. Unless that's how you like to spend your time for your entertainment, then sure, by all means go ahead and do it. But the problem is that the dopamine hits there with scrolling through Facebook just really mess up your brain. So only use it for work. And here's the suggestions that I have for me, which is only doing content marketing as needed, which is not very often. You'll notice I don't really post much on social media. And the only real use is for the groups for my course, as well as a little bit with the lead gen pay-per-call group, and then a little bit of messaging. I don't really do much of that anymore, but just really bottom line, stop the consuming. So the next thing is cut out drinking alcohol. Without drinking, I can almost guarantee you're going to see so much more mental focus. Also would really recommend looking into making sure you're eating a diet that's not going to inflame your body and really just give you brain fog and slow you down. For me, I eat a really strict paleo, however you pronounce it, diet that is set up to really strictly reduce inflammation. And I don't really eat sugar, I don't eat grain, and I'm really picky. You don't necessarily have to go that extreme, but to each their own. So some of these other things are just gym related things. Another thing I recommend is really cutting out TV, and especially the news. It's just, you don't need to worry about it. A lot of that shit is not your problem to solve, especially seeing something on the news, then going to social media and arguing with somebody about it, or going to YouTube and watching a political video and argue with someone in the comments. And you see thousands of people doing this every day. Don't do that. Those are not your problems to solve. What anyone said in the political thing, it does not matter. If it doesn't affect you and your business directly, why are you even paying any attention to it? Just don't. Cut it out. You do not need it. Another thing I really recommend is no gossiping or worrying about other people. If it doesn't affect your business and moving forward, don't worry about it. And tying in with the TV, I know I kind of break my rule here a little bit, but this is for just one sporting event that occurs once every week for 17 weeks and then another for 12. And I stream it through an app, so there's no commercials. So it's motocross. There's no politicalness to it. It's just racing essentially. So if you have your entertainment, whatever it is that you like to do, then I would do it maybe on a Saturday night or something like that. Again, I'm very, very extreme. If you are someone who wants to just build some sites and building additional income, maybe from the side of your job until you build up enough of a portfolio of websites that you're able to quit the job or whatever your plan is, then you really don't necessarily have to do all of this by any means. I would just do all of this when you are working. So cut out everything, especially during that work time. Let's say you work for 3 hours before you head to your job from 4 to 7 a.m. or something like that. You do that during that time, cut everything out, and you're just focused, you will be shocked as to how much stuff you can really get done when you don't have your phone anywhere near you. You have no other tabs open, especially if it's super early in the morning like that, because there's no distractions whatsoever that early in the morning. So it's actually an amazing time to get work done. So that is what I have done, and it has tremendously helped my business the past few months, really helped with productivity and really just overall fulfillment, because I'm mad if I cannot get my full list of stuff done. And if I don't get my full list of stuff done, and it's the reason being is because I was distracted and that sort of stuff, I'm really mad at myself. So again, I'm probably an extreme case with this, but if you're someone who's an entrepreneur who's really serious about wanting to grow, then you have to do those three things. So plan out your days, audit your time, and cut out the bullshit. And I can almost guarantee you're going to see great results in your business if you're applying these things and you create habits, especially with planning out your day. It can be a royal pain in the ass to get that all set up, but once you start doing it, it becomes absolute habit, and you get done with your workday, and before you know it, you're going to be writing out the next workday without even thinking twice. And you'll also be tracking your time for quite a while too. And I highly recommend doing that until you get to the point where you don't work with any distractions, or you have maybe a really good system narrowed down where you work from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. You only take 2 breaks or whatever, and then afterwards you don't have to do anything because you got all of your list done for that day. So, and then lastly, cutting out all of the bullshit and the tedious things that are not going to help you and really just mess up your brain. So cut all that stuff out. Audit your time, plan your day. You're going to be a lot happier in your day-to-day life, and you're going to get a lot more things done. You're going to overall get more fulfillment because you're getting things done and you're creating something aside from just working a job or whatever it is that you may be doing. So anyways, if you like this type of content, leave a comment down below, let me know, and also smash that like button. If you're not already a part of the family, go down below, smash that subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so that way you know when the newest content's live. And if you like the idea of building a business where you build out a website, rank it in the search engines, and monetize it with pay-per-call affiliate or lead generation offers, there's a link right down below to join the course. And if you want to get access to the 9 most profitable pay-per-call lead gen niches, there's a link right down below to that as well. So with that said, I am going to edit this video and get it scheduled and ready to go for tomorrow. So when you're watching this on Saturday, that is when I am getting this video done, or it was filmed last night technically. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.